Are there people in their 20s here? People in their 20s? Yeah. Okay. This one goes out to you guys. I feel like as you get older, as you enter your 30s, one thing I noticed about getting older is that the older you get, the sadder your drunk texts get. Yeah. Have you guys ever thought about that? You know, because I remember in college, all my drunk texts, very fun. They're always like, "Oh, hey, Megan, you up?" You know? But last night, it was like, "Hey, Mom, was I a good son?" It's like nobody... I'm saying, nobody wants to hang out with that guy. That guy sucks. That guy's got to go to therapy. It's a whole thing, man. It's a whole thing. When I first moved out west, I had to find a new therapist, and it is hard to find a therapist who's like working with, you know. So it took me a couple tries, and I finally found someone that I like. But it's so embarrassing talking about her because I am 33 years old, and my new therapist is 24 years old. This is 100% true. And every time I tell people this, they always say the same thing. They're like, "Bro, isn't that weird that your therapist is Gen Z? Like, how can you open up to somebody who's so young? Isn't that weird?" And I'll be honest, I don't think it's that weird because she's a professional, right? It's not like when I walk in, she's like, "Vibe check," you know what I'm saying? Like, she's never done that. She doesn't think my anxiety slaps or whatever the fuck, you know. If I cry, she's gonna write down sus in her notebook, you know. Are there any Gen Z people in the audience tonight? Gen Z people? Okay, that's great. How old are you? 24. My therapist is here tonight. He's here. He's here. He's violating HIPAA. I like people in their 20s. I like Gen Z. It's nice, you know. I think, no, they're great. But, you know, the thing is, like, I don't feel that old, to be honest. I don't wake up every day thinking that I'm old. But then when you talk to somebody who's actually 24, you feel that generation gap. And it makes you want to throw up, you know what I'm saying? Like I recently found out that a lot of Gen Z kids don't know the movie Sixth Sense. This is, like, a thing. Yes. Do you know that movie? Okay. The fact that one person doesn't even know is already... Do you at least know do you know the famous quote from that movie?
Oh, Sixth Sense. I do know that movie.
Okay, what the fuck? we're gonna edit that out, okay? We're gonna edit that out. I actually don't have time to super get into this, but a lot of Gen Z kids don't know, and they don't know the famous quote from that movie either, which is "I see dead people," and it's crazy to me because to me that quote is as famous as, you know, Luke, I'm your father or some shit like that. It's that famous, and I know this because I was at a party recently and I was talking to these two 24-year-olds about the movie Sixth Sense, and they were like, "Oh, is that movie where they're like, hey, I think you're already dead." Hey, I think you're already dead, Bruce Willis. You might want to check on that, my guy. I think you're fucking dead, dude. And that blew my mind because it's such a famous movie. And then I was wondering, I wonder what other movies Gen Z is misquoting from my generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if there's a bunch of, you know, there's a bunch of 25-year-olds hanging out and they're trying to quote Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. But they're being like, "Yo, don't come in here." You know what I'm saying? What's the number one rule of Fight Club? Shh. Stupid. I am Japanese. I speak Japanese, but I grew up in America, so the language that I speak, the Japanese that I speak, I learned it mainly through textbooks and Japanese school. My parents made me go to on Saturdays, so what that means is my Japanese is not bad, but it's very formal. It's so formal that even when I'm on a date with a Japanese girl and I'm trying to smash, I sound like I'm trying to get her to sign the Treaty of Versailles. I was out with this girl recently, and we were like dancing at the club, and she says to me, "Do you like the way that feels?" And what I wanted to say is, yes, that feels amazing, but what came out of my mouth was, "I derive many pleasures." She was like, "Okay, I guess the war is over. What the fuck?" I'm from New York. I moved here about a year and a half ago, and I miss it very much. Yeah, last time I was there, it was last August, and I remember at the time the monkeypox was like a huge problem. It was very scary. Everybody trying to get vaccinated. So I tried to get vaccinated, but I wasn't able to because at the time you could only get vaccinated if you're a gay man due to supply issues. And I thought that was kind of messed up because my first question was like, how do you prove that you were gay at a pharmacy? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it just like a 7th grade boy there who's like, "That guy's fucking gay"? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do they know? There's just like a 13-year-old white kid named Hunter, you know? He's got a little booth for some reason, you know? He's like, he's chill. Is that guy reading The New Yorker? Gay! And he just like ball taps you with the vaccine, you know? You're like, all right, thanks, man. I'm all set, thank you. I'm sorry this is kind of a weird question, but make some noise if during sex you like to spank or be spanked. Do we have any spankers? Okay, we got some spankaroos in here tonight? Hell yeah, man. Donde está mis spankistadores? Donde está? Donde está? Now, I bring this up because I was hooking up with somebody recently, and this girl asked me to spank her, and I was very excited because no one's ever asked me to do that. It was my first time. No one's ever asked me to do that before. Please stop laughing. So I was really excited, but I knew I was gonna mess up because when she asked me, she caught me off guard. So when she asked me to spank her, I accidentally said for sure. I said for sure as if a friend asked me to pick him up from the airport, you know? She was like, spank me. I was like, 100% I'll be there, dog. I'll be there. Spank me. I got you, my guy, you know? What you want to hear is like a nice, clean psh sound. But what happens is, like, as you're going down, you realize you've never been good at sports. So you, like, miss, like, most of her ass. It's mostly lumbar is what you're spanking. And so the sound you get is closer to, like, a... You know what I'm saying? Like a thought, like a low, like a shitty high five, almost. That shit is so embarrassing live. I don't know if that's ever happened to you guys. It's so embarrassing because you heard it and she heard it, and I was wondering in that moment if there's like a sexy way to ask for a second chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you can't be like, can I get a mulligan? You know what I'm saying? Because then she'll be like, what's a mulligan? You're gonna be like, well, do you watch golf? You know what I'm saying? Like, then you're like, okay, well now you're leaving. So I put my ego aside and I asked her if I could just try again, and she told me to try from a different angle. She was coaching me because she's in her 30s, and so I went under. I sort of like softballed it, you know what I'm saying? I sort of just went like this. Has anyone ever played bowling on Nintendo Wii? I kind of did it like that, you know, just, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know? But it wasn't working at all. So I was so embarrassed that afterwards I called my friends, I called my boys, and I asked them how they spank because I was mortified. And this is what I learned. Okay, this is doggy style. Actually, before I do it, maybe I'll ask, who are the people who spank? You spank? Do you mind sharing a technique with me, like real quick? No, please sit down. What the hell? No. Why do people always try to come up and spank me? That is not what I'm asking. I'm not being clear. This is not the first time. Usually it's like a drunk white guy being like, I'll fucking show you right now. And I'm like, no. That's in my rider. You cannot spank me. Do you spank, mustache guy? Yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. So how do you do it? How do you get that nice sound?
I mean, just go for it.
You're smiling way too much, bro. He said, just go for it, bro. Gross. I feel like what I'm finding out through asking people is that everybody spanks and spanks uniquely, you know? No one knows what they're doing. When I called my friend, he said the wildest shit. He was like, bro, you gotta go right hand, left cheek. And I'm like, oh, you go across? And I swear to God, he was like, imagine you're a tennis player, is what he said. And I was like, you want me to put a topspin on her ass? Like, you know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, make sure that right foot comes up for good form. I was like, okay, coach. It makes no sense. I asked this question at a show one time, and this guy was like, I'd like to do it with an open hand. I was like, yeah, obviously, I'm not punching this girl, you fucking idiot. What are you talking about right now? So anyways, this journey continues. I think about money a lot recently. I'm obsessed with money. I even have a podcast about it where we look at my friends' credit card statements and we judge their spending habits. It's not a comedy podcast. A lot of people cry, actually. It's very sad. I love money, man. But I think I realized recently that wealth is a mentality. I think your parents have to teach you how to be rich. And because I had immigrant parents, they didn't teach me a lot. They didn't know anything about money, right? Like, I remember when I was growing up, you know, some of my rich friends, when they turned 18, their parents were like, oh, you want to make more money? Well, here's a brokerage, here's an ETF, here's how you invest, right? But I had immigrant parents, so when I turned 18, my parents are like, oh, you want to make more money? Okay, first, we're going to get you one of those cats that waves like this, okay? Okay, and then we're going to put that shit pointing east, okay? That's finance, okay? The K in 410K stands for kitty, okay? That's what that is. They're idiots. They don't know anything about money. And because of that, I'm not financially literate. So whenever I get money as a 33-year-old, I don't even know how to invest. I don't know how to be rich. I don't know how to ball out. And it's very embarrassing. Like recently I did this corporate show with my 2 comedian friends who made a lot of money. We were talking about how we spent this money. And I found out one of my friends put a down payment on a Tesla. The other guy bought 2 Rolex watches. And they looked at me and they're like, Fumi, how'd you spend that money? And I was thinking about it. And I'm not making this up. The only thing I started doing with that money is I just started buying like the nicer rice at the grocery store. Yeah. You know it's like $5 more than the one you use? Dude, isn't that sad? Like, literally my comedian friends are like prancing around their Gucci loafers and like, I'm just eating a rice ball at lunch being like, notice anything different? About these grains, boys? Ooh. I'm a millennial, and I think that's why I think about money a lot, man, because our whole thing is that we work very hard, but we don't have a ton of money in the bank account because the economy has fucked us so many times, right? Like, let me ask you this. Clap if you're a millennial. Clap if you're a millennial. Okay. Now, clap if you're a millennial and you own a house. See? It was just one sad, sarcastic laugh. That's crazy to me because I know you guys all work. By the way, when I do this joke in New York and LA, people just start crying. That's really... And the show is over. So thank you for not leaving. But that makes me sad because I know you guys all work really hard. And I feel like that silence that just happened now, I think that's the reason why... That's the reason why today, like, you know how every young couple these days is in like a fucking polyamorous, ethically non-monogamous, open relationship, right? I don't even think we're having a sexual awakening. I think we just realized as a generation that we need a few more guys to go in on a down payment on a house. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all it is. Like, we are not horny, okay? We're not being woke, okay? It's just that me and my girl, we don't make enough, so we have to add a white guy who loves anime. You know what I'm saying? We have to add him. He has to fuck us now. He has to fuck us now because Chase Bank won't loan us the money. You understand? Chase Bank is fucking us, so we have to fuck a white guy named Chase. It's this weird thing. It's this weird thing they're doing this year. I've been catching up on a lot of TV recently. Recently finished a show on HBO called Insecure. Have you guys seen the show, Insecure? Yeah, great show. It's a very popular show on HBO. And one of the things that they're known for is that they cast prominently black and minority actors. So if you don't watch it, you are the problem. And that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. We have your emails. It's fine. We'll tell your coworkers next week. It's fine. But I was hanging out with my friend the other day, and as we were leaving, she was like, okay, I'll see you later, Fumi. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you watch Insecure, but there's a really hot Asian guy on this last season. You should check him out. And I was like, who taught you how to say goodbye? Okay, like, are you like, this is the way you're gonna leave social situation? Can you imagine what would happen if she went to a quinceañera? Goodbye, everybody. Be sure to watch Coco. So many Mexicans. Like, that is the rudest way to say goodbye to anybody, right? But at the time, I was very curious. I'm all about representation, but I don't know his name, so I get out my phone. I type in the name of the show. I type in Asian guy. I'm looking at the Google image results, only seeing pictures of very weird, skinny Asian dudes. And I'm like, what's happening right now? There's no way that's the hot guy she was talking about. So I go back one page. I'm looking at my phone, and I realized I forgot to type in HBO, so I just Googled Insecure Asian guy. Just in like a general search on the internet for Asian dudes with no confidence, okay? A lot of middle schoolers popped up, a lot of middle school. I was also on there. I was like, who the fuck? All right, I gotta go. Thank you guys so much. You guys are amazing.